Wake up, everybody, because it is time to talk about the September 2021 Nintendo Direct. I'm BanderSN, as always, here to review everything we saw at this, what I gotta say, fantastic Nintendo Direct. Yeah, that's right, I liked it a lot. This, to me, was the epitome of what a Nintendo Direct is all about. Pure Nintendo charm, lots of surprises, some big announcements, some small announcements that are really going to appeal to a select group of people, and just a fun vibe. Like, this was such a fun Nintendo Direct for me. I'm not even going to beat around the bush and try to pretend like I don't like it or blah, blah, blah. It was really good for me. I understand why some people might not be, like, super in on it, but in no way could I be convinced that this was a bad Nintendo Direct, because there was just so much here. Starting off in this Direct, and today we're going to do these things a little bit different. I have no script, I'm going completely off the cuff here, so apologize if I get a little rambly, but I just wanted to get this out as soon as possible. Starting off the bat, we had the announcement of the massive DLC, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. It's an awesome name, it really reminds me of Iceborne, coming out next year. I was a big fan of Monster Hunter Rise. It was my first Monster Hunter game that I really got into, and just knowing that there's a huge expansion coming out next year makes me want to get back into it and really finish up that game. And I'm going to get that OLED Switch soon, and it's going to look so good. Next, we got Koizumi coming out on stage, and I gotta say, every time that Koizumi comes out for a Nintendo Direct, you know he's bringing the good stuff. Like, there's never been a Nintendo Direct where I've seen Koizumi and I've come away disappointed. He just likes to satisfy you, you know? I gotta say, it is weird having Monster Hunter Rise DLC being the premiere shot for Nintendo Direct. Granted, this is a Switch exclusive. This is a huge game for Nintendo. This game sold like crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is pushing 10 million at this point. So it makes sense that this is like the opening thing, especially when we get Smash Brothers DLC characters every single time. So totally fine with this, but it is a little bit like, you know, maybe they could have put Kirby in front of it. Second on this list is another trailer from Mario Party Superstars. And God, we're just getting the Mario Party game that we've deserved for such a long time. For what I want to say is like 10 plus years. Because this is some of the best Mario Party boards with HD, really high quality animations and online. It's wonderful. And I played Super Mario Party online and it really works. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to be a pretty good experience. I mean, it's Mario Party 2, 3, and 1. Only one board from 1. And a ton of awesome mini games. This feels like the definitive Mario Party game that I will want to play for years to come. Unless, of course, they put out one for the GameCube ones. Which personally, I prefer 6 and 7. But 2 and 3 are amazing as well. Next up, we got The Voice of Cards, which is that really cool-looking Yoko Taro card game. People say it's got incredibly, like, near music vibes and stuff like that. It's not exactly my thing, but it's really cool to see the Switch get more card games, because for whatever reason, Blizzard never put Hearthstone on this thing, even though it's the perfect system for it. And also, that new Pokemon card game is not coming to Switch. I don't understand that at all, but at least we're getting something. Next, we had the announcement of Disco Elysium finally coming to the Switch. Award-winning game, perfect for the system, glad to have it here. And then next, we had probably one of the weaker segments, which was the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC. I own this game. I played it for a few hours. It didn't 100% click to me, but I did enjoy what I was playing. It was just that the frame rate was just kind of all over the place. Plus, of course, the freaking PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X were coming out at the time, so it wasn't really like, you know, what was I actually going to be playing? And then next we had Chocobo Racing, which was PS1, a Nintendo 64 game that came out, 20 plus years ago. It looks cute. The tracks themselves look kind of whatever. The characters look very cute and adorable, and I love the fact that you can use magic spells. However, it just kind of just looks fine, I guess. The fact that this is just kind of spin-off Final Fantasy characters. I know there's a bunch of Final Fantasy 9 characters in there, which for whatever reason they didn't focus on, but I'm more of a modern Final Fantasy kind of person, and, you know, if you're not having, you know, your Clouds, your Lightnings, your, you know, Kingdom Hearts characters, I know that's different, but you're not really going to pull my attention. Sorry, Gilgamesh. Next up, we have the announcement of an announcement, which is always fun, of the final Super Smash Bros. Character. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of sad that it's all finally coming to an end. I've been keeping up with the Smash hype cycle since the start of Smash for Wii U, and obviously Brawl before that, when they were doing characters on the Smash Dojo. The fact that they didn't bring the final character here, I think, was a good decision. I think they would. I'm of the confidence that it's going to be a big character, and having it be its own separate thing, giving it that its time to shine then, and not taking it away from other things, I think is a good decision. So I really appreciated that they showed kind of restraint and let the other things here speak for themselves, versus just being like, oh my god, they put Jesus Christ into Smash Brothers. We can't talk about anything else. We have to talk about Jesus. And in a similar vein, there was another announcement. Oh wait, hang on. I'm getting a call. Hello? Oh, hey Tom, what's up? Oh. In the museum? Yeah, I like coffee. Yeah, just black, you know. Oh, wow, cool. Oh, more? Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you in October then. Cool. I'm really looking forward to that. Next, we have what is, of course, one of my favorite announcements of all of the Switch generation, and that is Kirby in the Forgotten Land. And in my opinion, Kirby is one of the most underrated franchises. He does not get the respect he deserves. He gets constantly thrown into these filler spots by Nintendo of like, what do we have for Mario? I'll throw a Kirby game over there. And while the games have been relatively good, there's definitely way more good games than bad games. They just never give Kirby the chance to be a star of the platform. And I feel like with this new game, taking Kirby in a new direction, finally we're getting 3D, it just feels like Nintendo, HAL, and even the audience is going to give its chance to be the S-tier franchise that Kirby's always meant to be. I'm very excited. Game looks awesome. Really like this art direction and the way they're going about this. This was so cool to see. And just look at these little puppy dudes. They're so freaking adorable. The lighting looks amazing. Not gonna lie. I really like this game. Next up, we got a new content update for Mario Golf Super Rush. And I gotta say, it looks pretty fun. We got 2 new courses, which is awesome. 2 new characters. One being Ninja from Super Mario World. And guys, this is just what these Mario sports titles are all about. Grabbing sports you love with a cool Mario coat of paint and just the goofiest, wackiest characters you can possibly think of. Ninja? Never in my wildest imagination would you be able to play as Ninja as a character. I actually played as him in a match today. I downloaded the update, went through. I won. Went up to C+ in the rankings. After that, we got this trailer for Disney Magical. It's not Kingdom Hearts, so I don't really care about this. This game is for children, which is fine, because Nintendo's a company that markets to children, so it's fine. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm not really going to give an opinion on this game. However, the Miis do look creepy in this. But whatever, it's not for me. And then we got the announcement of the brand new Star Wars Knights of the Republic no, it's just the original version. It makes sense. It's made by Spire. I've given my thoughts on the remake for Knights of the Old Republic in my PlayStation 5 showcase review, so we'll leave it at that. But it's cool to have KOTOR here. I played it a little bit on my PC. It's definitely not something I'm going to be picking up here, but then we got a trailer for Dying Light 2 coming out Nintendo Switch for cloud, because obviously this game is not going to be able to run on Switch. As far as Dying Light 2 goes, it's not really for me. I don't really care about it. It's cool, though, that Nintendo's keeping up with this cloud system. These big third-party titles actually having a chance to be on the console is cool. It's not for me because I have other consoles, but it's great to have. Great to have. Then we got an update for Project Triangle Strategy, which has now finally got an official title known as Project Triangle Strategy. I swear to God, Square Enix just makes these titles really goofily and is like, oh, it's a working title. Don't take it too seriously. What? Everyone's talking about that title. Well, now we gotta call it that. Yeah, it's just a marketing beat. They were always gonna call this Triangle Strategy Project Triangle Strategy, just like they were always gonna call Octopath Traveler, because it gets attention. People are like, oh, it's so stupid. Well, the game looks pretty good. Well, that's perfect. Marketing works. I am pretty excited about this game. It looks beautiful. I love Fire Emblem, so this tactic style Octopath Traveler type of game really appeals to me. I played the demo, really enjoyed what I played of it, and I'm just ready to experience this game in the full version. It's coming out in March, which is very soon. By soon, I mean 6 months from now. And it's another exclusive for Nintendo. They just have a really great lineup right now. speaking of good lineups, Metroid Dread, which I have to say, probably the most boring trailer out of this one, aside from like the third-party stuff that doesn't really matter. But when Metroid Dread is the most boring trailer of the entire Direct, this is a good Direct. And not to say the Metroid trailer is bad, but I've seen a lot of the trailers recently. I've been very into the marketing for this game, so this isn't really anything new for me, nor do I want it to be new. I just want to play the darn game. But yeah, I'm just glad Nintendo was pushing this game so hard because, let's face it, this is going to be the best-selling Metroid game of all time. And we don't want it just to be the best-selling one. We want it to be definitively the best-selling Metroid game. The game that pushes Metroid from this niche sub 5 million unit seller to one of Nintendo's greats again. Because, god damn it, Samus deserves it. After that, we finally get an update for the Nintendo Switch Online. Now, I'm a big fan of Nintendo Switch Online. It's a really cheap service that, for me, works because I have decent internet, and the free SNES and NES games are stuff that I go to all the time when I turn on my Switch. Whenever I'm just looking for something quick to pick up and play, the Nintendo Online apps are just fun to have around. I totally am cool with just jumping into these games real quick and experiencing stuff that I'd never played before, stuff that I have played before, just some of the best games of all time, and they're just easy access. And for, what, $20 a year? That's a pretty good service. Now, today they announced that they're creating an expansion pass for Nintendo Switch Online, which is an additional fee, but comes with Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis titles, and not just a couple. There's a bunch of games here with the promise of more coming in the future. This honestly might be my favorite announcement of the entire conference. The N64 lineup that they have shown right now is incredible. They have Banjo and Kazooie, a game exclusive to a competitor's platform. They have Echo the Dolphin on this thing. The N64 games aren't even like the most basic games they could have picked. They could have easily picked, oh yeah, Mario Party and Pilot Wings, yay, whatever. No, they have Sin and Punishment. They have F-Zero, which is not that strange to see. They have Paper Mario, Pokemon Snap. Like, this, first of all, the first time there's been a Pokemon game on this service, it's just so exciting to see the service evolve in what feels like a bigger way and see a third-party platform coming to this service that opens the door for so many possibilities in the future. And Sega Genesis is my very first console. Sonic 2 is my very first video game. I can't wait. And come on, these freaking controllers, are you kidding me? Yeah, they're $50, but they're wireless and they're probably of somewhat relatively good quality. Granted, Nintendo's being sued for their controller quality, so I'm not 100% sure about that one, but I'm going to get these things, at least the N64 controller. But next we had a section on more niche titles, a lot of collections, a lot of remasters. We had Shadowrun, Castlevania Advance Collection, ActRaiser, Shin Megami Tensei, all those types of games. Deltarune Chapter 2. It wasn't really for me, but I understand that these sections are meant for different types of audiences. There's nothing here that's really supposed to be big standout titles, but there were shadow drops, and it didn't last very long. And then, what is probably the most memorable moment in a Nintendo Direct since, 2018's Everyone Was Here, Miyamoto steps on stage, and when Miyamoto comes on to a Nintendo Direct, something wild is about to happen. Either we're going to get something really awesome, something really stupid, or maybe both, because he announced the Mario movie release date coming December 21st, 2022. Christmas movie, very excited about that. But even more so, he announced the voice cast. And now, there's a lot of people on the internet who are like, this is stupid, this is dumb, but it's a Mario movie. It's supposed to be a goofy time. It's not going to be a serious flick. It's not a Pixar film that's going to make you cry because it's so emotionally poignant. It's Mario. It's just supposed to be a fun time. And they picked an honest-to-goodness, fun cast of people who are... I'm just curious to see what they do with these roles and how they actually go about making Mario a real character, because Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, is voicing Mario, and I don't really see him as Mario, but I'm willing to give him a chance because it's a children's movie. Who gives a crap? And then for Princess Peach, we got Anya Taylor-Joy, which I'm not gonna lie, I get kind of weak in the knees when I see Anya Taylor-Joy, but we don't need to talk about that either, but whatever, just moving on. I'm great for Princess Peach. And then Charlie Day as Luigi. Just what a goofily perfect casting for Luigi as Charlie Day. And then Jack Black as Bowser. Are you kidding me? Honestly, if you were to just put that into a void and say, hey, Jack Black is playing Bowser, would be like, what is this movie? Jack Black is Bowser. But having the rest of the cast here being so funny, and Jack Black is really going to work in this role as this kind of goofy, over-the-top cartoon villain. And then Keegan-Michael Key as Toad is awesome, funny, and really strange at the same time. Is there just going to be one Toad in this movie? Is every Toad going to be voiced by Keegan-Michael Key? I would prefer that. I think that would be way funnier if every single Toad is Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah. And then Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, which, sure, whatever. I'm sure that'll be hilarious because, I like Seth Rogen. I think if you're saying who should Seth Rogen be, I think Donkey Kong is an appropriate response. Is it going to be good? I don't know. I'm willing to find out, though. And then we got a little segment like, oh yeah, Charles Martinet, like, we're not shoving him off to the side. He's gonna be there. He's gonna voice some cool stuff. You're gonna cry when you see him. I'm happy that they're including him. I'm not the one kind of person who's like, oh, he has to voice Mario in the movie because, Charles Martinet's voice as Mario isn't exactly something I want to be listening to for over an hour and a half on a big screen. It's fun in small segments of little quips and blurbles, but in a full movie, I don't necessarily know if that would really work. I'm glad that they are bringing him in to voice some stuff that would be, a lot of fun and, fun to like notice, be like, oh, that's Charles, that's Charles Martinet, great, awesome. Maybe he'll be Wario or Waluigi, or maybe in Baby Mario. Maybe he'll be Parthenax. So yeah, I'm legitimately excited for the Mario movie. I think this only made me more interested in what this is actually going to be because Mario's going to talk. Donkey Kong's going to be in it. It's really interesting. Who knows what this is actually going to be? And then for the penultimate announcement, we had the gameplay reveal of Splatoon 3. We got to see a ton of multiplayer stuff, a ton of new powers, one of the new stages, and a huge look at the single-player campaign, which looks really, really cool. I love Splatoon. I love the vibe of Splatoon. Splatoon is a culture in itself. The music, the fashion, all the cool sounds and powers and stuff you get there. Splatoon is amazing. And it's going to be, I legitimately think this is going to be the game that takes Splatoon from that really popular Nintendo franchise that like, oh, Japanese people are super into, and there's really big people into that, I don't really associate with, to everyone is talking about Splatoon. Because I just think this game is going to be huge. Splatoon 2 sold like 14 million copies. I can only guess that Splatoon 3 is going to be easily a 20 million plus seller. This is going to be the one that breaks into a very popular video game to mainstream, like, cataclysmic success. And it just looks cool. There's got like Spider-Verse vibes in there. It's just, I'm all in on Splatoon 3. I'm really excited. And we didn't get a release date, which is, whatever, but I think that they're definitely going to hit 2022 for this one. And then finally, to finish off the Direct, our one more thing was Bayonetta 3. And God, I love Bayonetta. And it's been so long. I just completely wrote it off in my head. I'm like, oh, Bayonetta will come when the Switch Pro is finally announced. They'll be like, we needed the Switch Pro to make this game work. And I still think that that's the case. I still think we're getting a Switch Pro in 2022. But I'm glad we're seeing Bayonetta finally. I love the new look, love the new hair, I love the new vibe and the music, and I am so excited for Bayonetta. I know I've said that about every single freaking thing in this Nintendo Direct, but Bayonetta 3 finally being shown, one of the big three being Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2, Bayonetta 3 is finally like tangibly here. We know what this game is. We have a date. We have what this game is sort of about. There seems to be a time travel aspect to it. This is just an awesome way to end the Direct. A perfect finale for what I can only describe as a great Nintendo Direct. Now, to wrap up my thoughts about what we saw today, I totally get if a lot of this stuff didn't vibe with you. I know not everyone's a fan of Kirby. I know even though I'm telling you need to pay attention to Splatoon, it could totally be something that you're just not into. That's totally fine. Maybe N64 games, don't appeal to you. Old game is old. I get it. Animal Crossing updates, it's not a new game. It's not that big of a deal. Smash Brothers not being an actual announcement. the Mario casting being just something you're completely disinterested in. I can understand all those things. But Nintendo is showing that they have a just massive list of exclusive titles that are coming out from basically a month ago with No More Heroes 3, and basically a month ago, starting around when Skyward Sword came out, with No More Heroes 3, Monster Hunter Stories, even Snap and Rise in the beginning of the year. Nintendo was on such a strong streak of good to amazing titles coming from here to the end of 2022. Nintendo Switch just feels like a great platform to be on right now. Metroid, 2 Pokemon games, one being a really exciting new title that's breaking the mold to something we've never seen before. We've got the most exciting Mario Party we've had in the last decade. We have the return of Advance Wars with Advance Wars Remake, Shin Megami Tensei. We've got Project Triangle Strategy, which looks really cool. We've got Splatoon 3. We've got Kirby. We've got Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4. I'm sure there's a trilogy coming somewhere at this point. Bayonetta 3. There are so many Switch games. It's impossible to keep up with. And on top of that, we're getting N64 and Sega Genesis games, plus all of the indie stuff. There is so much happening on the Nintendo Switch, and there's so many different experiences. And I get, not everything is going to appeal to everyone, but there's something in there for you that's going to excite you. And I just think that's really cool. And, what a great direct. A. It's an A for me. I can understand if you're like, oh, B, oh, C, oh, Joe, you gave the Sony presentation a B. Well, there's like 3 directs a year, so the ratings are a little bit differently. I take these a little bit differently. And overall, with the first direct being, a B minus, the E3 direct, but in my opinion, an A, and this direct being an A, it's been a fantastic year for Nintendo Directs. Let me tell you, three solid Nintendo Directs all year compared to 2020, which we got nothing. It's been fantastic. My voice is giving out. I need to stop talking. I need to go to bed because I've been on 3 hours of sleep. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Nintendo Direct. Check out my reactions if you just want to see someone excited about video games for once in your life. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, I am going to go take a nap. Thank you.